Welcome to today's session on projectile motion. This is from the topic of motion in 2D and is one of the highest weighing topics for any exam perspective, like for even CBSE competition everywhere, the results are used widespread. This figure is showing a particle which is projected, like this is the trajectory of a particle. What do you mean by that? This is the path. Traced by the particle. The path traced by the particle is known as the trajectory of the particle. And in x and y axis, we can see the curvature, or we can see the way the path has been traced by the particle. Yeah. And before coming to the projectile motion, how is it relevant to the real life applications? We must have seen, why does a cricketer throw the ball in a curve? Why does he do that? Why is he not throwing it straight? And why is he trying to throw it like this? Okay, giving that kind of a curvilinear motion in air. Okay, why do long jumpers land farthest at 45 degree? These are certain practices which the trainers give them, that the long jumpers in real life scenarios, specifically in Asian Commonwealth Games and Olympics, they have been trained to jump at 45 degree. Why? Because to reach the highest height. So 45 degree is not only for the highest height, it's also for the range to be covered as to be maximum. So the one who jumps it, and then it depends upon person to person and the strength of the muscles. But yes, if your training is correct, 45 degree is beneficial. Why? We'll be considering today. Yes. Under the topic of projectile frame. So a projectile is just an object. I would write the definition. Thrown with an initial velocity moving under gravity alone and no source associated. Source of propulsion means like engine. There should be no source of propulsion, specifically any engine which is giving it a motor mechanical force or a drive. Then it's all because of that external agency. That's not a projectile which is drawn. Okay. That's something that's a target which you need to achieve. We are calling for the natural projectile of like any bowler throwing a ball, those kind of forces. Yes. What kind of a path does it draw? This path? It is parable. We can witness it. We can witness how the velocity, the initial velocity has been broken down decimated into the components of vertical and horizontal components, respectively. We can see the component which is attached to the theta is being termed as to be the u cos theta. Always it will be. It is a universal thing. And in exams also, if you are forgetting it, this you should know that the component which is associated with the theta of the axis is always the u cos theta. And the other will obviously be the u sin theta because u has been desiccated into u cos theta and u sin theta respectively. Okay. So the total time which a projectile takes in covering this entire path means from O to B, the total time is known as the time of light. And then there are certain relations between time of light. The range is the path which has been traversed by that projectile. Like if I highlight it, can be seen in terms of this. The point O is called the point of projection. This point is known as the point of projection. The angle theta is called the angle of projection. Okay. Distance OB, that means from O to B, this distance is called the horizontal range. It's just like you are traveling from China to New Delhi. From China to New Delhi, you are traveling, but you are traveling by via air. Now that motion is also a projectile, but it is propelled by engine of the airways. So that's the reason we are not considering it into the projectile motion, at least not for the sake of natural behavior. Yeah. So the path which is traversed is known as range. Then there are certain formulas whose derivations will be dealt in our upcoming sessions. And what are those formula? Let's consider the formula. Horizontal velocity, which stands out to be ux, the ux component, which is the u cos theta, standing out for the constant. It is always constant because we are considering the vertical component, which is projected into the air. The vertical velocity, uy, reverse of it, u sin theta. It's not constant, it's changing. Time of light to be considered. To u sin theta by g. Height max or maximum height is u square sin square theta by 2g. And then one more form of it, which is also the formula for range or the path traversed. It is range is equals to u square sine 2 theta. Okay, not square theta. It's sine 2 theta by g. Now, these two formula are so much creating commotion because of the similarity in the structure that the student 30% students are committing mistakes in the formula of maximum height, which a projectile will reach, and the range which is traversed by the projectile. So students need to highlight this particular point that because once after the derivation, the student remembers it, it's a very volatile data, so needs to be practiced constantly and consistent. Okay. Now, in the beginning of the session, I told you why it is being projected, because range is maximum at theta is equal to 45 degrees. These are experimentally driven data, and only the stats are important for us. And let's take a numerical for an example. An easier one for the both. A ball is thrown at 20 meter per second at theta is equals to 30 degrees. What will be the time of flight? What height will it reach? And what will be the range? All three at once. Time will be given to you to solve the question in my sessions. The taken time must be of 2 or 3 minutes, because I don't want to miss any of the moment in my class, and want to make this session as active as possible. So time will be 2u sine theta by g. Substituting the values, will be getting 2 times 20 into 0.5 by 10. Answer will be of 2 seconds. This is grade 10 mathematics coming into play after this. Physics is only till the formula. H is equals to height, which is u square, that means 20 square into 0.25 upon 20. 2g. Once upon solving, 120 is getting cancelled by 20. 120 remains into 25. 0.25. You will be getting 2 seconds to be the answer. Sorry. 5 meter to be the answer of maximum height. The maximum height which will be reached by the projectile will be 5 meter. Yes. Range. It's 400 times sine 60 upon 10. Dividing it. And what is sine 60? You just need to be very thorough with this table. 0, half, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2, and 1. 0, 30, 45, 60. That's root 3 by 2. So 400 times root 3 by 2 into 10 will be landing you towards the right answer. Will be 34.6. Also, certain roots you should know. Root 2 should be 1.414. Root 3 should be 1.732. These are the data expected by the candidates on the day of examination, which the grade 11 students must know. Yeah. So, yes, I hope you all understood the session. It was a mix of both concepts and numericals, and derivations must be dealt in our upcoming sessions. Keep practicing till then, students. I'll be seeing you next time. If you have any doubts, please revert and contact my Urban Pro profile. Thank you so much.